last year. So now, Kyle, there were obviously 6 quarterbacks taken last year in round 1. We've heard that over and over again. J.J. McCarthy, though, was the only rookie quarterback who didn't take a regular season snap. So how do you see things playing out for McCarthy and the Vikings offense this season?
Probably well. I mean, what he walks into is a team that has not just stated their support for him, they've screamed it. The Minnesota Vikings in this offseason said, no, we're not even messing around with any of this Sam Darnold stuff. Great season, Pro Bowl, huge numbers. Bye. We're not even thinking about it. Bye. We're going to do the Aaron Rodgers dance for 5 seconds. Nope. Bye. We love you. O'Connell and Rodgers are close. We're not doing you. We're going with a guy who you said has never taken a regular season snap, not just to be the quarterback of our team. We have Ferraris in our driveway, and you have to figure out how to drive them. You're walking in there and, you got to get the ball to Jefferson. You got to get the ball to Addis. You got to get the ball to everybody, and you've never played before. I don't know how he's going to play. Ross doesn't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. You have to look at Kevin O'Connell, the reigning coach of the year, and say, O'Connell loves McCarthy. He is saying, guys, we're good. We're going to go with that guy, who, by the way, in that press conference clip, looks way better than he does here. There were those shots of him on the sideline last year where he looked 130 pounds and pale. That's not a great shot of him. We got to disavow that one. Remember that when Beyonce tried to get that picture of herself scrubbed from the internet? We got to scrub that. He looks like a guy who works the counter at GameStop. Now he looks much better. So basically, I'm going to go back to Manti. Manti, I don't know if he's going to play well. I liked him in college like everybody did, but I think Kevin O'Connell believes in him, so how can I not?
It is giving a little bit of Boo Radley, I'm not going to lie, but continue.
Oh, yeah, sure. Nice reference.
Oh, man. KB, I don't know. No, to your point, nobody knows if he's going to play well, but these are the realities. The Vikings are going to play well because last year the Vikings only had 2 weaknesses. It was their passing defense, and the reason why their passing defense was a weakness was because they're winning majority of their games, and teams had to throw the ball against them a lot of the time. So that was a weakness because there were just more reps and more plays there. And the second thing was handling pressure, and we saw that in that last game against Detroit. Sam Darnold, Detroit blitzed him over 50% of the time. Now, how does J.J. McCarthy change that equation? Well, J.J. McCarthy is extremely mobile. From his time at Michigan, obviously, we don't have any, matter of fact, NFL clips of him scrambling and making plays with his legs. But we have college tape of him showing his ability to extend plays that way. Now, what's the stress on the defense when you blitz? Well, DBs can only guard receivers that long. Now, put Justin Jefferson in that equation, Jordan Addison in that equation, T.J. Hawkinson. That is who J.J. McCarthy is throwing the ball to. So I think that J.J. McCarthy is set up nicely. But to your point, KB, we just don't know. So I guess we're going to have to wait to see in 2025 if he does suit up, how he does with all of those elements in play.
Well, and I appreciate his confidence, but the truth is you don't know if you're really ready to play until you're out there. You guys have mentioned all the skill guys. What's it called when you have a baby and you get the whole feathering the nest, okay? Feathering the nest. That's all I remember from having babies.
Yeah.
My wife had them. I was part of it. But that's all I remember. That is what the Vikings have been doing this whole offseason. They go out and get Will Fry's 5 years contract to play right guard. Ryan Kelly at center. They just drafted Donovan Jackson in the left guard in the first round. So all they're doing is feathering the nest. If you remember, he only played 1 preseason game last year against the Raiders. He looked awesome. I was so fired up about J.J. McCarthy, and then 3 days later, they said he's out for the year, and I was so confused as to what was going on. So highly encouraged by that preseason game. I love that the Vikings are feathering the nest for J.J. And if you think about it, all the comments, even forget J.J. I see what Josh Metellus is saying about him. I see what Brian O'Neill is saying about him. They're all saying he's a leader. They love his energy. All of that is great. We've seen other guys that look good in preseason. Until you're out there and the defensive coordinator is throwing all these different things at you, you don't know. JJ doesn't know he's ready to start until he actually starts regular season games.
So it's like when the parents are expectant and they get the white noise machine and the mobile, and they pick out the perfect paint color to project calmness and confidence. That's what the Vikings are doing, feathering the nest. What is your take on expectations this year, because last year was so strange that they were so good and then it completely fell apart and now Darnold's gone. So like we're talking about in February next year, the whole season's over, and we look back on the Vikings season and McCarthy like, wow, that was a success. What is that season?
I think they have to win double-digit games. I really do. That's a lot, though. I mean, that's a lot to put on a first-time starter to say you have to win double-digit games. Not many guys win double-digit games in their rookie season, which this is essentially for J.J. McCarthy. But we all just saw what Sam Darnold did. Nobody really thought Sam Darnold was that good with the Jets or the Panthers. Yeah. And then Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell makes him the comeback player of the year or whatever. Now we got to see where J.J. McCarthy's at. It just feels like Darnold, all he really did was raise the expectations for McCarthy or any quarterback in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's like they're probably not going to win as many games as they did last year because they won so many. It's the rare situation where if you were to tell Vikings fans this year you're going to go 11-6 and McCarthy's going to play well and maybe you lose in the wild card, they're like, I think I like it. I think that's good because McCarthy worked and you won 11 games and you got to the playoffs. So the Minnesota is one of the most interesting teams. Last year was one of the most interesting years. And McCarthy, the only rookie who didn't play and one of the most mysterious people in the league. Manti, where do you come out?
So my take, guys, is I think it's very possible that they can win double-digit games, to your point, Ross. And the reason being is the NFC North, it's changed, guys. The Lions, they have new coordinators. Both their coordinators are gone. So one of the coordinators went to another NFC North rival with the Bears. The only one that has the most carryover would be the Packers. And right next to them is the Vikings. And the only change for the Vikings from last year is the quarterback. And if you look at how J.J. McCarthy is set up with all the weapons that he has around him and the additions that they made, Aaron Jones is going into his second year with the Vikings. And so it's another year of being in that system, having a whole offseason. His teammates know him. He knows his teammates. And then Jordan Addison has continued to bloom. So it's just from a defense, that is a hard offense to go up against because just like, who am I going to guard? Am I going to roll my safety over Justin Jefferson? Well, then I got to go T.J. Hawkinson. Who's going to guard him? And if I do that, then who's going to go Jordan Addison? There's so many different weapons on that defense. So, again, the carryover to me is if there's less carryover for the Minnesota Vikings going into this year than majority of the other teams in that division. So I think going double-digit wins is very attainable for them.
And just to really drive home this point here, that J.J. McCarthy, by the time the season starts for him, it will be over 600 days since the last time he threw a pass in a game that actually mattered or counted. So it has been a while. And also, Ross, I've never heard feathering the nest. Maybe that's because I don't have kids. But I only ever heard of it as nesting. So feathering the nest is something else, sir. I love it. It's very poetic. It's also making some news on Tuesday. Vikings linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel coming off a career year, rewarded with a one-year contract extension worth $23 million. Kyle, you know, Andrew, friend of the program. Is this a good move for both sides?
I mean, if you don't like Van Ginkel, you don't like football.
I love him.
Get out of my face if you're not an Andrew Van Ginkel fan. We were early on. Here's how early we are. I remember when we used to do segments in Andrew Van Ginkel based purely on this photograph. Bring it up. This is how we used to look at Van Ginkel and we're like, who is this bleeping guy? Who is that? That's an NFL linebacker?
No.
And yes, and that was when he was with the Dolphins. And I mean, like, look at that. Now he's running around. Bring that picture back up. Just leave it up. That is an unbelievable. How
it's
angry
like
is
J.J. McCarthy and Trevor Lawrence had a baby.
Yes.
I hope they don't find it. There's a picture of me like that.
Really?
From the Patriots where I look like a serial killer.
I've seen that before.
It's as ugly as I can possibly be.
Yes. Well, Ross, due respect, you had a great career. You didn't go on to get the huge extension that Van Ginkel's getting. I get there's ugly pictures early on. And I'll tell you another thing, and I'm going to name drop here. Last October, I was at the Jets facility, and I got to do a sit-down with Aaron Rodgers, and they were about to play the Vikings. And he was talking about the Vikings defense, and he referred to him. He's like the guy with the hair who was on Miami. And I was like, Van Ginkel? He's, yeah, Van Ginkel. Like Rodgers, who knows everything, couldn't come up with his name. Meaning, like, he wasn't a known thing a year ago as much as he is now. He has had that type of glow up. And you know what happened a few days later in London? Van Ginkel pick-sixed Rodgers on the field, and nobody pick-sixes Rodgers. So it's like Van Ginkel's had this incredible glow up. I love it. The picture's always hilarious, and we will always show it. And have we found Ross's yet, or do we have to wait till next segment? What is our staff doing?
Listen, guys, I don't know. What is with our pictures today of these guys? Van Ginkel's and JJ McCarthy. They look like they're on the set of Twilight or something. Like how
I love it.
It's like them
Let's find Manti's worst picture.
There's a lot of those now.
I love this game. I will play.
A lot of those. But, talking about Van Ginkel, I love Van Ginkel. I've talked about him on the show. Now, it's not to the degree that KB loves Cam Scatteraboo, but listen, when you watch Van Ginkel play, the guy is just a ball player, all right? He's just a football player. He makes a whole bunch of plays that are very instinctual. So, man, I'm happy for him that he was able to sign that deal, and he's just one of those cornerstones to that defense where if you need a play, you think that Andrew Van Ginkel is going to make that play. So congratulations.
Colleen.
Ross. Okay. Hey, Ross. We just wanted to see your face really quick.
Here did I.
Hey, listen, I thought maybe you're showing my picture from the Patriots. It was the ugly as I can. You know what I love about
There's Ross looking
Van
like a
Ginkel?
serial killer.
No, any guy. There's something extra cool if you have the long blonde hair coming out of the back of your helmet.
Amazing.
I mean, like, I wish I could go back and play again and just put long blonde hair coming out of the back of my helmet.
You'd look so much better.
And I don't know why. There's a lot of people watching this show that still don't even know who Andrew Van Ginkel is.
I know.
He's one of those guys that even though he had all the pick sixes, Dolphins and the Vikings, even though the Vikings defense was so good, I feel like we talked all the time about Brian Flores and Brian Flores blitz scheme, and we don't talk about Van Ginkel that much. And it's weird when a guy this time of year gets that 1-year extension like that. It's almost like the Vikings said, you know what? This guy was so good last year, and he's so much better right now than people realize. And he's so much better than the contract we gave him last year.
Yes.
We got to give him a little boost. I'm not going to say this is a financial apology from the Vikings, but this is basically a financial acknowledgement that what we signed you for last year was an absolute steal. We recognize that we're getting tremendous value. We're going to give you some more money now just because you deserve it. And by the way, NFL teams don't usually do that, okay? They're not nice. They're not like, hey, let's just give this guy extra money just because. No, Van Ginkel deserves it, and the Vikings realize it. They probably wanted to start their offseason program, all the guys back in the building, with a feel-good story of Van Ginkel getting $23 million for an extra year.
For a round of Whiteboard Wednesday. So, Ross, you ready to go? Did you warm up this morning? I don't know. Maybe you brought your own markers. Who knows what's happening over there in New York? But let's get to our first question. First up, we have 2025, the draft. It's done. It's in the books. And now we know where all of the prospects, now rookies, are going to play this season. So the jersey that you're most excited to see this season is who, Manti?
Come on now. I would love to see the Cam Ward, but the Houston Oiler throwback. And that light blue with that strip of red. Now that he has Warren Moon's, I think Warren Moon's the only one to ever wear that jersey.
Ooh.
He just retired, so now he's going to be the first one since Warren Moon. Look at
They're
that.
so
I want the sleeves just like that. I don't want the game-worn one. I want the sleeves just like that. We have a whole bunch of NFL jerseys in the wardrobe room. This is one. Please send it to me. I need a 2X. I want
a satin jacket.
Yes,
that's what I want.
Cam Ward, the Houston Oiler. Ross, what do you got?
All right, so this is pretty easy for me.
What?
It's Travis Hunter.
Okay, go.
Okay, for multiple reasons. First of all, he's the best college football player I've ever seen. I called Colorado State last year for CBS. I've been watching college football over 40 years. This is not hyperbole, okay? The guy was playing over 120 snaps a game. You know, college football with the up-tempo offenses. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy is that people have come on my show and said that he would have been a top 5 player as a wide receiver or a corner? Both guys were top 5 players. He was number 1 receiver, number 1 corner. But listen, there's a whole other element to this. What jersey number do you wear
I know.
when you're both a receiver and a corner? Because the NFL has stricter rules. than college football does. Does he stick with 12, I guess, what he wore in college? Anyway, I'm not going to go all James Gladstone and give a Braveheart speech right here about why he's changing the game and all that and the belief and all this stuff. And, James Gladstone, that was amazing on multiple levels.
Sure was.
I will say this, though. This guy might change the sport. Because think about this.
Go on.
If he has success playing 1.5 ways in the NFL, this will be like when you go to 8th grade basketball game and every kid is shooting like threes from half court because Steph Curry changed the game.
I know.
If Travis Hunter has any success on both sides of the NFL, every single guy, when they're getting recruited, every 5-star recruit, I'm only going to Michigan if I can play both ways. I'm only going to Ohio State if I can play both ways.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is going to try to be the next Travis Hunter. Over the next 10 years, wait till you guys see how many kids are playing both ways in college football, or at least trying to. Can't wait to see what he does at the NFL level.
Best college football player you've ever seen. I'm going to put you on the spot with a real wheelhouse question. You love this stuff. Who is the best high school player you've ever seen?
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
No hesitation whatsoever. Terrell Pryor.
Why?
6'6", 240,
Yeah.
playing quarterback in high school. I talked to colleges, okay? Yeah. He would have been recruited as a 5-star at every position other than O-line.
So D-end, everything? Like
D-end, corner.
Safety.
He ran a 4.3 at 6'6", 240. Okay, I got to give you one quick visual. Okay?
Let's talk Terrell Pryor. Go.
Okay, Terrell Pryor. He's playing quarterback in the state championship game. I'm calling the game, okay?
What's the high school?
Jeanette High School, of course. Jeanette High School, Western PA. All right? Terrell Pryor, 6'6", nobody can even get close to him. The kids bounce off of him, whatever. He's like the greatest athlete you've ever seen. There's only 3 seconds left. They're at the 40-yard line before halftime. They bring the backup quarterback in, okay? They put Pryor at receiver. Everybody in this stadium, Hershey Park Stadium, everybody knows what's about to happen.
Hail Mary to Pryor.
They throw a Hail Mary to Pryor. There's 3 kids around him, okay? He jumps up, he catches it, and then he holds the ball. I got my eraser.
Yeah.
He holds the ball above his head like this, and all of the poor kids from Dunmore High School, which is where Vic Fangio went, Northeast PA. I could do this all day, by the way. All the kids are like this. Like, all the kids are like 6-year-olds, like, like they're reaching at it, and Terrell Pryor is like this, looking at them, and goes like that and hands the ball to the ref. Like, goes like that over their heads. It was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
Clip that off. Terrell Pryor's got to come on the show tomorrow and talk about that play. He did some good things in the pros. I want to hear about the high school play. Great story. That's where Ross Tucker lives. You talking about Vic Fangio's high school? I don't know what that is. All right, I'll make up some time. Typical of this show, we have the number 1 overall pick from Manti, the number 2 overall pick from Ross. I'm not going to first round or second round or third round or 7th round. I'm going to an undrafted free agent. I want to see the jersey over this gentleman, Desmond Watson of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is 460 pounds. Do they have to hire a seamstress and put 2 jerseys together? Guys, you could take Vita Vea's jersey and it wouldn't even be close to big enough for Desmond Watson. He is my favorite rookie outside of New York Giants running backs, but Desmond Watson, give me the jersey, and Terrell Pryor, come on the show. Next.
A spicy Brandon Bean giving and another thing, energy. I'm absolutely, I love it. So our second whiteboard here, the one GM who you'd like to do one media session with, 0 filter. Who would it be?
Colleen, this GM gave a spicy quote as well.
Oh.
Les Snead, bleep them picks.
Let's go.
I want to have an interview. I want to sit down with Les Snead. He's one of my favorite GMs to watch. One of the reasons why is he doesn't go to the combine. The light in that combine is off. Like, there are 32 teams. There's only one office where the light is off. The LA Rams don't go to the combine. But I also want to talk to him about how they evaluate talent, right? They draft Jared Verse last year. He was a rookie defensive player of the year. They draft Puka Nacua the year before that. He sets all of these records: most receiving yards for a rookie, most reception, most receiving yards in a playoff game for a rookie. And then also he signs veterans in 2022, like my big bro Eric Weddle. He just signed him off the street. They go and win the Super Bowl. So I would love to have a sit down with Mr. Les Snead and pick his brain about how he sees talent, because whatever he's seen, obviously it's working.
All right, so for me, this was easy. It's Jerry Jones.
Let's go. What are you doing?
And yes, if you're not familiar, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, yes, he still is listed as their general manager. You know why I want to have a media session with zero filter? Because Jerry Jones wants the media session to have zero filter.
I know.
He wants to tell you everything. Okay, and by the way, it would only be about 50-50 between football and me asking him stuff about his bus and his yacht and just what fun stuff goes on those venues. But from the football standpoint, the two things I want to know. I want to know the priority right now as it relates to the team moving forward because they make a lot of money, but they are not having the same success on the field. And then, in particular, I am dying to know why they wait till the last second to get all these guys signed to contracts. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, they're doing the same right now with Micah Parsons. I just want him to explain what the logic is. The only thing I would say about that is if your contract structure and approach is the polar opposite of the Philadelphia Eagles, you might want to think about it. You might want to reconsider it. Because if you look at the Eagles, all of their best players are under contract for years. As Joe Burrow said, that seems like a pretty good plan. That seems like a pretty good idea. Have all your best players under contract for a long time. That's not how the Cowboys do it. I would like Jerry to explain to me, with all the money they make, why? Why don't you do it that way?
That's a great one. I think that probably wins the segment, but I'll try to answer anyway. Unfiltered interview, meaning they have to answer every question. They can't lie. They have to answer honestly. And if there's a question they don't like, they can't have a young lady 50 years younger off camera saying, we're not talking about that. They have to answer the question. This is easy.
Oh, my God.
Omar Khan. This is very simple. I got to meet Mr. Khan a couple of months ago. He was a very, very nice guy, a very easy guy to talk to. And I'm going to say, Mr. Khan, due respect to Derek Harmon out of Oregon, due respect to everybody you have on the roster. You have a beautiful family there. What the bleeping hell is going on with Rodgers? Just tell us. I don't want to sit here for weeks and months and think about it and talk about it in a vacuum. Are you going to sit here and tell me, Omar, that it's just this random coincidence he was throwing with DK Metcalf? Of all of the football players in Southern California, he threw with your new Steelers wide receiver, and you guys aren't signing him? What's he saying? What are you saying? Is he coming? Is he not going? Are you actually going to start a season with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback? I need these answers now. Omar Khan's the one. That's for me.
They're 17 minutes long on the Oprah Winfrey Show. So a random Guinness World Record that you think you could break is, and I can't wait to hear what you three think.
Okay. For me, I just Googled it. What is the record? I think I could beat it.
Okay.
Chocolate chip cookies. Specifically, my wife's chocolate chip cookies because we made it. I had her make it a certain way. There you go. Clip it. That's another great picture. Right there, KB. It's Ghirardelli. Is that how you say it? Ghirardelli?
Oh, yeah, I think.
Milk chocolate. I don't like semi-sweet chocolate. Milk chocolate with one Hershey's milk chocolate and walnuts. I could eat that.
You know what? They're based in Pittsburgh, and that's where the draft is next year. So maybe you can, figure that out.
Let's have it. Let's do it. I guess it's the world record is for the most chocolate chip cookies in 1 hour is 6,018. Now that's a lot.
Whoa.
But I'm down for it. I'm down for it because I love chocolate chip cookies that much. That is my cheat meal. That's my cheat meal every week. And I love it.
What about Thin Mints? Like just sleeves at a time.
No,
Ross?
I don't like minty stuff.
What?
All right, I am going with a combo platter, all right? It's these two things combined in a single day. Ski runs plus beers.
Oh, no.
Okay, in a single day. All right, so first of all, I will just say this. Children, don't try this at home.
Thank
I just want to put the disclaimer out there. Kids, if you're watching, don't attempt what I'm about to explain at home. I had a lot of orthopedic issues as a player, back surgery in Buffalo, herniated disc in neck, Washington, end of my career. For whatever reason, I can ski. It's like the only thing post-football I can do. I love it. This offseason, I was Montana, Utah, Colorado. I'm still 260 pounds, right? So a ski run is from top to bottom if you're not familiar. I go flying because it's too tiring to try to slow down. I go flying down to the bottom.
French fries.
Now, I don't know if we have to decide. I'll talk to the folks at Guinness. Do I have to chug the beer at the bottom and then go up the chairlift? Or am I allowed to drink the beer on the chairlift going back up? I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. I'll win either way. But I would be surprised if there's anybody in the top 1% of 1% where I am in terms of how many ski runs you get in a day plus beers. So, like, let's say 22 runs plus I won't say how many beers.
I'm going to say 9.
I would say several beers. I think I might be able to break the world record.
Wait, is it a black diamond run? Or you could just go
double black.
If it's double black,
No. I usually go on like a blue. I usually go like on a blue, so I can just bomb down. A black diamond, you kind of have to be paying attention. There might be moguls. I go on blues, tips down, never turn, just go, get on the chairlift, get my beer, pop it. I don't know if you're allowed to do this or not. Have the beer as you're going up the chairlift, go down, do it again, up, down, up, the whole day.
Chug it at the end of the run.
Does that though, because he's hoping to run into some nerd on the ski track who he can plow over and relive his glory days. Last time Ross and I went skiing together, I fell down so badly that I broke my ribs and was seriously hospitalized. Why? Too many beers. See, that's the thing. I tried to keep up with him. All right, I'll bring this thing home. I've spoken on this before. It's not that it says think on the screen. You can get that off. I know I could break it because I already own it. Grocery bag transporting from the car to the kitchen. You're looking at the goat. You're talking to the goat. You could bring on anybody you want. A 500-pound person, LeBron James, Patrick Mahomes, a gorilla. I will have more grocery bags from the car, complete with the full foot tap to get the thing to close, with the back swap to get the door to close from the garage. I got one on every finger. I got one all the way up here like a short order cook coming out here. I have never done 2 trips on Thanksgiving, the grocery run, on the Christmas grocery run. That's me, except I got all of those. I don't have a Sherpa. I don't have an assistant. I don't make the kid grab any of them. I know where to put the heavy milk bags that are load-bearing versus the tortilla chips, which are light. I am an expert. I'm better than you. I'll do it all day, every day. No one can take me out. It's a wrap.
Okay, what about a door that has a handle that you have to pull towards you? How are you doing that?
See, Colleen, that's amateur hour. What you do is you pre-open the door before you get the groceries, so that on your way back, it's already ajar. And then as you go through, you get one of those, and you kick it closed, and then you go, and your wife is all like impressed and everything, and then you just have a night. It's a great way to do it.
KB, do you guys not pay for grocery bags in New York?
Oh, I lost my audio.
Yeah, Kyle was so fired up, he just lost his audio.
Happens all the time.
I thought he was trying to dodge the question.
Manti wants to know if you guys have to pay for grocery bags. You know
California.
What's funny about that, Manti? It's now a state-to-state thing. I have no idea. In Pennsylvania, you don't have to do that. I go to the Jersey Shore. Shout out Colleen. Love the Jersey Shore. All I want, is 6 breakfast sandwiches for my family. I'm riding my bike back from Avalon. Why do I have to give you 35 cents? For a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not as good as Kyle. I can't balance 6 breakfast sandwiches. By the way, it's so underrated. Sausage, egg, and cheese, amazing.
The best.
I can't balance 6 of them while I'm riding my bike back to my house, okay? Can I please I'll bring the bag back later. How about this? I'll give you my credit card. I'll bring the bag back later when I'm going to the beach.
So this is the situation that we get in oftentimes is you go to the grocery store here in California, and Utah is different. You don't pay for the grocery bags. They scan all your groceries, and then you have like 5 gallons of milk, 12 trays of eggs, a whole bunch of whole chickens.
So much
and they
dairy.
Look at you and they're like, would you like some bags? I'm like, nah, I got it all. So I'd love to see KB be able to balance all of that. That would be something that we should do, is try to figure out how many runs is it going to take without grocery bags to get my stuff from the counter to the car.
Great day here. We have a lot of good vibes. And on that note, we're going to talk about night 1 of the draft, where you might remember the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champs. They drafted Alabama linebacker Jihaad Campbel, and everybody really likes him. Seems like a great pick. On day 2, the New York Giants, their rivals, drafted Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart. And like the internet likes to do, there is a play that they have found between Alabama and Ole Miss, and that play started to make the rounds. I want you to take a look at this play, Jihaad Campbel and Jaxson Dart. And I also want you to listen to who was on the call, because it's 2 very close friends of ours, one of us who is in this room with me right now. Enjoy.
Judkins in the backfield. Dart, little hitch, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it. Ooh, he lost his hat. Ooh. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Looks like it hits more of the shoulder pad, though, than Dart's helmet. There's a better angle right here. Seems like it hits all that right side of Dart's shoulder pad as he's going to make the tackle. But for Dart, I love the competitiveness. But slide.
It's an incredible play. We know Jaxson Dart did not go day 2. He went, though, and he's going to face that guy in the future. And the call was great. That's you, and that's Jason McCourty. Tell us about this play and your relationship to it.
Well, so what's funny about this play is that Jihaad Campbell didn't start the game. So his freshman year, the year before, he had 1 tackle as an edge rusher. This game against Ole Miss, he had just been moved to linebacker. He didn't start. I can't remember who got hurt. It might have been Deontay Lawson, but one of the Bama linebackers got hurt. Campbell comes in. Next thing you know, he has 7 tackles. He's out there killing people, including Jaxson Dart, who, by the way, Jaxson Dart did this a lot in college. I don't recommend that for the Giants, okay? Yeah. Don't run right at linebackers. That is a bad idea. You know what Manti Te'o would do to him right there? Manti Te'o is making me all self-conscious because he's so jacked and his hair is amazing and his beard's beautiful. I don't ever want to be on the show with Manti Te'o again. But anyway, that's not my point. Campbell, okay, that was his first time playing linebacker, and he was awesome. The next week against Mississippi State, his first start, he had like 14 tackles, a forced fumble, interception. That game, many people are saying me complimenting him on that play in that game is why he ended up being a first-round pick. That play right there is what gave him the confidence to be an All-American linebacker.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that if I'm Jaxson Dart in the NFL. But I do respect the fact that he didn't slide extremely late. I do respect the fact that he said, you know what, I'm going to run this ball. I'm a runner, and I'm going to do it. Again, I don't. Jaxson Dart, get the heck down, okay? You should have been down on the 40. Just slide. Do that in the NFL. But for quarterbacks out there, this is what happens, okay? If you decide to run the ball, and I hope that he gets down in the NFL, but what a great play by both. And I like the fact that Jaxson Dart got up and smiled and he wasn't complaining and trying to flop everywhere. Man, respect it. Look at that. Look at him.
This is perfect. This is an all-pro reaction, which he also had at the draft when he was picked. So his reactions alone are a reason to watch him coming up in the NFL. Also, thank you so much. This is the all-pro hair team here in L.A. So we'll be here tomorrow and Friday as well, Ross. That's awesome. For you.
Oh, gosh. Manti's back tomorrow. Hey, Manti, try to have a cheeseburger every once in a while, okay? like what do you eat? And then you're making me self-conscious. I'm not on Good Morning Football that much. I'm like, we both are wearing black shirts. I'm looking at your arms. Then I'm looking at my arms. I'm looking at I'm looking at your beard. I'm like, okay, arms are better, beard is better, hair is way better. Manti is beating me in every category that the people on TV can see right now.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
No, Ross. No, listen, bro. Like, Ross knows 2 years ago I went to the broadcasting boot camp, and Ross was there to assist. So this is a full circle moment for me to have Ross on the show. It's so good to see him. But listen, I would love to go full send with you on the snowboard. I snowboard.
Oh.
I'm a snowboarder.
We're going to the slopes.
So don't take me to all of those ones where you got to turn. I just full send, go straight.
We're going to do moguls.
I'm with you, Ross.
You guys have, some tips for me, but I trazodoned her, so I don't know. A trazodone and a prayer is what I'm living on. So the NFC North, let's talk about them. Last year, they led the league with 45 combined wins. The Lions led the way with a 15-win season and a second straight division title. Ross, I'm going to start with you. Are the Lions still the kings of the North?
Well, I mean, they are until someone proves otherwise, but I would just tell you this. I think the Packers are right there, nipping on their heels. A couple different reasons, right? Number one, the Lions lost both coordinators. That is big. If you don't think that's significant, talk to the Philadelphia Eagles during the collapse at the end of the 2023 season. After they went to the Super Bowl in 2022, they lost Steichen to the Colts, Gannon to the Cardinals. It was obvious, if you watch the Eagles play, how much it hurt losing both those coordinators. They got 2 new guys last year. Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio won the Super Bowl. Everybody realizes that. This will be a huge test of Dan Campbell's coaching staff, of him as a head coach, to see if he can keep that same level of performance without Ben Johnson, without Aaron Glenn. Plus, for the Packers, they have been quietly playing a bunch of guys on rookie contracts. Every time you look at the Packers, it's like, this guy's in year 1, this guy's in year 2, this guy's in year 3. Well, guess what? It's put up or shut up time for those guys, okay? You know why? Because for a lot of them, this is like Christian Watson, this is the last year of their rookie contracts, okay? 2 or 3 of the offensive linemen, multiple receivers. It is time. The Packers have had incredible drafts the last 5 years under Brian Gutekunst. It's time for those guys to take the next step. They got to win the division and at least get to the NFC Championship game. They have the ability to do it. They've got a talented roster of young guys that should just be hitting their prime this year.
Ross, I'm so glad you brought up the point about how the Eagles lost their coordinators and the effect that had on them. I think that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving Detroit has a bigger impact. Why? Because Nick Sirianni is really the play caller in Philadelphia. Right? If you look at the way that Shane Steichen ran the offense, the way that Kellen Moore ran the offense, it's the same plays. They just call it a little differently. The flow is a little different, but it's the same playbook. When you think about the Bears from last year, the Lions, Dan Campbell doesn't call the offense. Ben Johnson called the offense. So that is, to your point, Ross, why I think that is such a big loss for them. And you lose Aaron Glenn. But when I look at this NFC North, are the Lions a clear favorite? By title, yes, but going into the 2025 season, no. You think about the fact that they lost both coordinators. One of the coordinators went to the Bears. That whole division, in my opinion, I said it earlier in the show, it's an unproven division. The Vikings have a new quarterback at the helm in J.J. McCarthy. Now, the Packers, they have the most carryover. However, can they win in the playoffs? Can they win when it really matters? And so are the Lions the king of the hill, or the king of NFC North by title? Yes, but I think that whole division is up for grabs, and I guess we're just going to have to see how it all plays out.
Tough to stay on top. Tough. I mean, you just got the coordinators, the other teams get better. This is why you just don't see a lot of crazy runs year after year, and all these divisions have different winners every single year. Of course, I'm sitting here, what is it? It's April 30th. I'm going to say the Lions. We'll see in 5 months. They still have the best quarterback. I think they still have the best offensive line. I think they still have the best run game. But there's things to chew on here. The Lions and the Packers, I feel like, are solid, and the Vikings and the Bears have mystery about them. They're enigmatic. The Vikings because of the quarterback, and the Bears just because of the Bears. I will say this about the Bears, though. Like, the Lions have a different relationship with the Bears than maybe your team does or the other teams do, in the sense that even during the Eberflus era, the Lions would lose to the Bears sometimes. 2 years ago, Matt Eberflus beat the Dan Campbell Lions. Last year, it was Matt Eberflus's final game as coach on Thanksgiving. The Bears had the Lions beat. It was an all-time choke job in which the Bears ran out of time with a timeout and lost the game to the Lions. So the Lions fans understand that the Bears are loaded in the sense of talent and everything. Now, listen, you can sit there and say Bears this, Bears that. I'm not. It's the Lions. But I think especially with Ben Johnson, I think the Bears have the Lions' attention.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you know, with these division games, weird things always happen. You can never just look at the teams on paper because they know each other so well. Now, especially with the Bears having Ben Johnson there. And for the Lions, their offensive coordinator, John Morton, he came over from Denver. But the only time he was an offensive coordinator was in 2017 with the Jets. Now, that was a completely different team, and that was many, many years ago, but very unproven at this point as an OC. So we'll see what happens with him. Let's move in. A team, the Philadelphia Eagles. For the second time in 7 years, the Eagles have earned the honor of opening up the NFL season at home. 8 possible opponents for that Thursday night game in early September. Kyle, who do you want to see the Eagles play week 1?
All right, let me list the opponents for everybody at home. So the possible opponents for the Eagles at home this year, obviously you have the NFC East, but then you have Bears, Lions, Broncos, Raiders, Rams. So you could choose one of the NFC East or you could choose one of them. I'm actually going to check, like in poker, because, Ross, you're so plugged into the Eagles. I want to hear your answer first. Who do you want to see them play?
This is easy for me.
Really? Okay.
It's the Detroit Lions, right?
Oh, nice.
It's the NFC Championship game that we all were expecting and we were robbed of. I was shocked that the Commanders beat the Lions last year in a divisional round. If you tell me that you saw that coming, you are a liar, okay? The Commanders had just beaten the Bucs. They got a playoff win. It was a nice story. The Lions looked like maybe the best team in football. Nobody thought the Commanders would win that game. We got robbed of seeing the 2 best teams in the NFC. I wanted to see the Eagles and the Lions go toe-to-toe. Let's get the game that we didn't get last year to start this season. That will get everybody fired up. And they probably are still the 2 biggest favorites in the NFC this year. Let's just start with a bang and put the two best teams in the NFC out there right to get this thing going.
I tend to think it's an NFC East team. Listen, I'm intrigued by teams like the Broncos and Raiders, but there's not the scar tissue. There's not the familiarity. Even the Rams, who they just played in this amazing epic finish. I don't want the Rams either. Just give it to me again. Give me the Commanders. Let's go in here and bring in the Eagles welcoming in the hot new team, the one who's allegedly a threat to their crown, the Jaden Daniels second year. Let's start it there. I want to see a rivalry game. I'm not terribly interested in the Cowboys. The Giants, I feel like the Eagles have kicked them around enough. Give me Eagles Commanders, and let's see if maybe we have the start of something really fun for the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years where this rivalry is back like when I was a kid. I want this one.
Man, KB he just crapped on my team. My team I chose. I want the Rams.
Me too.
I think we can all argue
right.
that in the entire playoff, guys, in the entire postseason,
that was a great game.
The most entertaining game was the divisional game versus the Rams and the Eagles. In that game, there are so many iconic plays, whether it's Saquon Barkley hitting his helmet on his 78-yard touchdown run, or Matt Stafford in that offense, like posing just drive after drive after drive and staying in the game. And they even had a safety in that game. So there's so many different components to that game. When I'm watching as a football fan, I want to see this again. Look at the snow. Like, this is what you talk about. These are the type of games that they're going to show 20 years down the line on NFL films. And it's like, this is one of the best games ever. One of the best playoff games ever in the history of the NFL. So if they're going to play, and if the Eagles are going to play anybody, I want to see the Rams.
I would love that because I have so many neighbors here in Los Angeles that are constantly like, well, the only reason the Eagles won was because of the snow. And I'm like, okay, well, so what? They still won. And so I would like to have this experiment where we see them play without the snow. I'm going to save the best question here for last, our third down. So the Lions social media department came up with, it's a viral thing that it's everywhere at this point. But this was the question. Let's go to the side.
Who would win? Gorilla, 100 humans?
Oh, this is a great one. I'm taking the gorilla.
If these humans don't care about their lives, then maybe they could take down the gorilla. But
we were just talking about this. A gorilla for sure.
A gorilla.
I mean, the obvious answer is 100 humans.
I'm gonna go with the gorilla. I don't think humans, bare hand humans, are gonna. I just don't see it happening.
100 humans.
Is it like 100 Panays or 100 Jake Bateses? I think 100 Jake Bateses would win.
I said 100 humans.
Gorilla all day. Not even a question.
Bro, you don't know the type of humans I can get? Me, Moody, Panay, Sewell. I'm taking the humans.
A motivated gorilla and like lazy, like 100 lazy humans?
No, they're motivated too.
They're motivated?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe the humans. It might be an even fight at that point.
I ain't gonna lie, one gorilla, because the first couple people that's running up is over with for y'all.
One gorilla.
No shot.
I think it's the gorilla.
Simple. No survivor.
It's the gorilla. Definitely taking 100 of us.
100 humans. Depends. Are we all attacking at once or one by one?
At once, if you can.
Yeah, at once.
Okay.
We're killing them. Put me at the front line.
100 humans.
Yeah, look. Come on, man.
100 humans.
That's what type of humans. Dan gave us a pregame speech before. I might take the 100 humans, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
I love that they start getting into strategy of this. Okay, so like, is it all at once? Is it 100 Panays? Like, who are we talking about here? Is it 100 kickers? I don't know. Manti, we're going to go with you first. 100 humans or a gorilla, a gorilla comes in anywhere from 350 pounds to 600 pounds.
Well, I agree with all the guys there. It is the key factor is what type of human. So everybody knows that I love the MMA. And there's a fighter on there named Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's from Dagestan. And this guy, and the reason why I think that is there's 100 Khabibs, we have a chance. The guy was wrestling bears at the age of 8 years old. So I started playing contact football at 5. I thought that was an accomplishment. Then I heard Khabib at 8 years old was wrestling a bear. So if he can wrestle a bear at 8 years old, I think that 100 of grown Khabibs may be entertaining to watch against a gorilla Ross.
That is next level.
Well, listen, if it's 100 normal guys, they have no shot because, like the guys down there at Wall Street, because as soon as they see the first couple guys get smashed and their head fly off of their body, they would all run away. If it's 100 NFL linemen, if it's 100 NFL linemen and MMA guys like Manti just talked about, give me the 100 humans all day long. Listen, it still only has 4 limbs, okay?
Yeah.
So we dive in there, everybody grab a leg, they grab a leg. Once you grab them, 350 pounds, we got NFL linemen that are 350 pounds, okay? So the first couple guys, it's not going to go well for them, okay? But if we all 100 go at once, hey, I'll go after you guys go. No, you go. I'll be right behind you, bro. Okay, they're just coming at waves, grabbing limbs, 100 humans, no doubt in my mind, as long as I get to pick the humans.
There does need to be some sort of lottery system through which we determine the
This
order.
is what my question was going to be.
Rumble,
How do you
like
decide?
the first person who runs out versus the 30th. Like, if you draw one, you're like, all right, let's go. I just think it's so funny that, of course, we're getting to the story like 3 days late, and now it's reached, like, I'm reading things online where it's like, a zoologist at Berkeley is analyzing the gorilla's mentality. I'm like, we're getting so far into the rabbit hole with this thing. And I actually think it's really simple. I land on the same question. Who are these 100 humans? And I will tell you this. I will take the humans if even one of the 100 humans fighting the gorilla is New York Giants running back Cam Scatterby. Pray for the gorilla. In fact, I will go further. We don't need the 100 humans. We need just Scatterby against the gorilla. In fact, I will go further. I will take one Scatterby versus 100 gorillas, and we will still come out of there with the dub. Strategy be damned. Give me my guy, and we're going to get a victory for the human race.
All right, does everyone have their props in hand? Get ready. Come on now. So, right now, Will Campbell, Shamar Stewart, Jihaad Campbell, and Maxwell Hairston. You're going to look at them. We have them on popsicle sticks right here. And I'm going to read a fun fact, and you guys are all going to guess which prospect we're talking about here that I'm talking about. And I'm also going to guess because I don't have the answers.
Join in the party.
So, first question, everybody. My youth baseball coach's wife carried a copy of my birth certificate to prove my age at tournaments.
Oh.
I'm going to say this, but go ahead.
So out of all of them, I think that by stature, it definitely isn't Maxwell Hairston. Shamar Stewart, Will Campbell. I would say based on that, if I'm going to ask anybody for their birth certificate, it's going to be Jihaad Campbell. So I would say Jihaad Campbell.
Okay. Jihaad Campbell. Ross?
This is a tough one because obviously you start to think about the biggest guys immediately, and then you think, okay, who played youth baseball? I wanted to go with Will Campbell. I think that might be a little too obvious. Shamar Stewart is a physical freak of nature, and he just strikes me as one of those guys that, you know, maybe matured before the other guys matured. He still looks like he's matured, more mature than the other guys in the draft. So give me Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, the newest Bengal.
All right, I like to look at these differently. I'm not interested in the football or the size. If you are playing in an area where the youth baseball is so serious, you need the birth certificate, that means there's some really intense fans and parents. That sounds like South Jersey to me, and that is where Jihaad Campbell is from. This seems like a Jersey thing to me. I think it's Jihaad Campbell.
No question. We are connecting all the dots. I'm with you on that. Jihaad Campbell as well. What is the answer?
No!
Oh, wrong Campbell.
Wrong Campbell.
No.
Damn. All right. He's an offensive lineman. Makes sense. Should have confused.
All right.
Damn it. All right.
We
None of us
overthought
idiots
the whole
got it?
thing.
All right. Come on. Let's go.
Question 2. Here we go. Despite growing up in Florida, I was a Chiefs fan until I was just drafted to an AFC rival. Oh, this should be easy. Manti?
That's pretty easy, guys. We don't need well, none of us got the first one right. Maybe we do.
Yeah.
All right, Manti, what do you think?
Come on. I think the biggest rival couldn't be the Bills. I mean, it has to be the Bills for the Chiefs. So I would go with Mr. Hairston, Swaggy Hairston myself. Ross.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know like how much research we are allowed to do or not allowed to do, but I just saw that Hairston, who got drafted by the Bills, is from Michigan. So I'm not going with him. Okay, I did see that Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, surprisingly, is from Miami, and he plays for the Bengals. They're the only team that people think in the AFC can beat the Chiefs. Shamar Stewart. If I say Shamar Stewart every time, I'll be right one of these times.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shamar Stewart as well. And I mean, I guess I guess we consider the Bengals a rival. They didn't have much of a season last year, not a lot of wins, but I'll give it to him. I'm going to go Shamar Stewart.
I'm going to go Hairston, but Ross, when are you doing this? Are you doing the research right now? That's cheating.
No, right before the segment. I don't
right
know.
Off the dome here.
Are you not allowed to know anything about these guys? I didn't know what the rules were.
It's going to be Shamar Stewart. My one thing that I do in this segment is I research where they're from, and Ross just completely stole it. That's fine. Show the picture. Who's the guy? Do it.
Hey.
Give it up. Yeah.
Kristen.
There we go. We're on the board.
Congratulations.
Okay, next question. Here we go.
All right, number 3.
If I had to pick one celebrity to share a stack of pancakes with, it would be Adam Sandler. Who said that?
Well, are we going? Can it be the same guy twice, or is everybody's one?
I don't know the rules.
Of course.
I guess.
They might double up.
Might double up. I'm gonna go. I don't know why, but I'm gonna go Maxwell Hairston again. Okay, I don't know why, but I just think I used the other two, and the two guys I got wrong. I only got 2 left, so I'm gonna go Maxwell Hairston by process of elimination.
Ross.
All right, I'm not buying that they're going to use the same guy twice, okay? If they did, I would go Will Campbell, but I'm not buying. That's kind of a weird segment.
Disrespect to the room.
And then the one guy feels left out, like he's in the segment, but he's never actually won. I'm not believing that Gina and everybody in the studio, I'm not believing that they would do that. And we showed it. Maxwell Hairston, Bills fans, you're going to love this guy. You want to talk about a personality and funny and dapping up he was the 30th pick. And he was there for every guy, energy. This guy loves Adam Sandler. This guy would have been hanging out with Kyle and I in college, watching Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Maxwell Hairston.
All right, I'm going to go. I always try to find original approach. This one's pretty easy. Adam Sandler applies to some certain demos more than others. I'm going to go with Will Campbell. And by that, of course, I mean offensive lineman. So I'll go with Will Campbell.
Okay. I would think about Hustle. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but Adam Sandler is in that, and it's about the Sixers in Philadelphia. So on one hand, I was thinking Jihaad, but I'm going to go with the other Campbell as well. I'm going to say Will Campbell. Don't overthink this, guys.
Who is it? Bring it up. Bring it up, bitch.
Oh!
Wow, nice job. I had no idea that was coming.
I love that he has that in him. I didn't know that.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to mention that during the preseason games now.
And Campbell is an uncut gem himself. Like, he's kind of raw like that. So let's go.
That is true. That's true. Okay, we have one more question here.
My answer.
Actually, a couple more. All right,
Only one?
Couple more?
No, we have, I don't know. It depends how much time we have. One of my favorite off-season activities is alligator hunting. Who said that?
Alligator hunting?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Who's crocodile
I
Dundee?
know alligators down there in Michigan, so you're... Because Ross just told me some information about Shamar Stewart being from Florida.
Oh.
And Florida got some gators down there. I'm going to go off of his research, and I'm going to say it's Shamar Stewart.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Adam Sandler, if you've ever watched the movie The Waterboy, you know about Louisiana. You know, weren't they eating gators like the whole movie in Louisiana? Isn't that a thing? So I think that they're throwing us off the scent. I think it's a second Will Campbell because I don't think you do that anywhere else other than in Louisiana. So Waterboy, Adam Sandler, Will Campbell.
I am so
all right. I'm gonna say that our production staff is being really cheeky here, and that the alligators they're hunting are actually Florida Gators, like the football team.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna say Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. I'm just gonna take a shot and try to see the Matrix.
I really like your reasoning there, Kyle. That's creative.
Thank you.
I'm just going to keep going with Will Campbell. He is my scataboo for today. So, Will Campbell, let's give it another shot.
Who is it?
Let's go.
Told you.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Nice job.
We got more. I love a game.
Can we have Ross go
All right,
first?
let's go. Come on.
All right, here we
This is
go.
the last one. Everybody empty the bank.
I like to sing and was a member of my high school's choir.
All right, not Will Campbell. No way.
Not Will Campbell. Jihaad Campbell. I don't think it's Jihaad Campbell. Shamar Stewart seemed too serious during his interview to be a singer, but the guy who had some soul to him had a lot of love it's got to be Maxwell Hairston. I'm going to go with Maxwell Hairston as somebody who sang in his high school choir. He got some soul.
We already got it, Colleen. Are you going to zag or are you going to fall in line and make it a sweep?
It's Hairston. It's got to be. With that personality.
And what if it's not Hairston?
It's got to be. Clean sweep. Oh, my God. Love, love, love. Okay. Hey, we are continuing on. I love this. Okay.
We have another one? You don't want to end on that, guys? All right, fine. Let's go. What do we got?
I'm just following directions here.
And on a dub.
Let's go to question 6. I was warned teams at the Combine by saying, quote, if you don't pick me, just know I'm bringing hell to your city. So he warned teams at the Combine by saying that.
Well, we just talked about Maxwell Hairston. He got a lot of love in him. I don't think that coming from him.
Who's threatening teams?
Threatening teams. I know who almost threatened Jamie when he was on the mic. His name is Shamar Stewart. He said some teams done messed up. So this seems like something that the Texas A&M rusher would say. Ross.
Yep, I'm with you. All the reasons Manti does it. Can I tell you something, by the way? I'm a little tired of this. Like, we can go back through history of guys that were like, I'm going to make them all pay. Or
they don't.
It doesn't work out that well. Like, go back. I remember there's an offensive lineman from Arizona, Evan Britton, that was like, I'm going to make every team that didn't draft. He wasn't that good of a player, right?
Did you do it, Ross?
It's usually not that good of a thing. Shamar Stewart.
I like that. All right. I'm thinking about this quote. This is like almost like a Wyatt Earp quote. This is like, I'm going to kick some ass and bring hell to your city. I have to go to the guy who said he's ready to fight and die to protect his quarterback. I'm going back to the well with Will Campbell. He speaks in these really strong, morbid quotes, and it seems like his brand here.
Wow, Kyle, you just swayed my vote with that whole thing. Although he was so emotional and he was crying, so I feel like I don't know. I know he said he would die, but I think bringing hell to your city, he has the wrath, and I'm going to say Shamar Stewart.
Come on.
Who is it? Bring it up.
Yes! Yes!
You guys are right.
Oh, good. We did it. That's fun. More games, guys. Good job, everybody. You get participation awards.